It is mostly in moments of despair that one really seeks the meaning of life. When it all seems so absolutely meaningless. We've all read, or people interested in this anyhow, have read a lot about what life means. They've maybe got involved in religion, got involved in groups that have a look at it from all directions, maybe watched some inspiring videos on YouTube, watched some mentally satisfying YouTubes with lots of entertaining graphics, some real sort of shoo wow kind of videos. But they're like a sugar high, they're gone in a short time. And one's left with that despair. What is the meaning of life? What are we here for? What are we doing? We arrive, we go through this process, and we disappear. Who knows where? What is the meaning of it? Why are we doing it? We might research it in great detail, but like reading on how to swim won't save you if you suddenly end up overboard in the water. Reading on how to fly a plane won't give you the ability if you suddenly have to do it. One wants to go from trying to understand life to living a life of meaning. And it's in the living that the realization of what it's about comes about. Whatever you can get in the mind or put in the mind or has anything to do with the mind is just to do with the mind. It's not to do with life. Your attention is going into an instrument, not too different, a lot more advanced, but not too different from the senses of sight and touch and hearing and so on. You've got to start to experience. If you start to move, like when you ride a bicycle, if you start to move, you can get balance, but you can never attain balance without moving. You cannot start to experience the meaning of life without starting in that direction and living. Living is more than just doing, is more than just having fun and working and doing whatever the animal instinct tells you to do. That's not life. Those are just things which support the body. Real life is an experience of consciousness, is an experience of awareness. You want to get into that place where you transcend the mind and in consciousness start to make progress, start to experience your understanding is not the right word, but it's the best one, understanding of life. Getting to a point where you're starting to live a meaningful life. And a meaningful life isn't a life of charity or good works, or although those things are important. A meaningful life is starting to experience an expanded consciousness. And you can't describe an expanded consciousness. You can only experience it. You cannot share it with somebody else. if somebody else has moved along in the same direction as you some distance, you can to some degree acknowledge where the other person is. It's sort of like a sharing. But you can only grow in awareness, in consciousness, by growing in consciousness and not in intellectual understanding. The meaning of life doesn't lie in intellectual understanding. The path of intellectual understanding for some people is necessary. Others have insight into how to go about it. Maybe people who live in primitive cultures, who don't have books and videos and YouTube, but they gain great insight into the meaning of life. And they live a life of meaning. But for us, we have to start off reading or hearing about what it's about. But the very best way is to keep the company of somebody who has made progress. That will give you direction. The power of company is fantastic. It can take you in the direction that that company is going in. So if it's spiritual progress, if it's consciousness and awareness you're wanting to develop, seek the company of people who have gone that way, who are moving beyond books and videos into experiencing a meaningful life, into making the transition from mind and matter to consciousness. You cannot learn consciousness from an external source. Consciousness is a state so utterly different from intellectual understanding. Consciousness is best accessed through stillness. From all the mental attention focused in one spot within one, not outside, but within one, to the point of stillness. And then what lies in consciousness will start to become part of your experience. And slowly, slowly, maybe with a flash, but generally slowly, your being will expand, or your being will appear to expand. What it is actually doing is dropping the filters. It's dropping them so you can start to see within. And that's the spiritual journey, is dropping the filters and barriers until you can experience, realize what is within you. And that is a spiritual journey. That is moving from trying to grasp the meaning of life to living a life of meaning.